Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yo, wake up. Wake up. The coffee has not hit yet, y'all. I'm still look at my hair's all crazy. Look at this. The coffee has not hit yet, and I'm just letting y'all know I'm tired. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody. Hold up. Let me pause my screen over here. Welcome. Happy New Year. Now, Annie, you came in my chat and you said something that I said, what are you talking about, my love? Hold up. Annie, Annie said something about what you said. It just caught my attention for whatever reason. This is the comment. Please don't please, we don't like decaffeinated rabbits. Listen, decaffeinated for whatever reason like stood out to me because back when I was a kid, my mom used to drink a lot of decaf, and I used to ask my mom like, "What the heck is decaf?" Like, and I didn't start drinking coffee until like way later in my like I want to say 30s because I wasn't a coffee drinker in my 20s. Didn't need it. So I asked, I said, what's decaf? What's decaf? She would always order decaf. I said, I don't get it. Y'all, if y'all want coffee, just order the damn regular coffee. Now, if you're decaffeinated drinkers, can you guys tell me when you're at the McDonald's and you say, "Can I have decaf?" What do you mean by that? Hmm? Just let me know. Let me know. Oh, Stephanie, we had a lot of donators. Y'all last night was amazing. You guys are awesome. Some of you guys I'm like trying to take out the music out of because listen, when we get down, we get down. We partied and the people were having fun and it was a really good time. Y'all are amazing. We had a lot of donators. You said I can't have caffeine because of my heart, but I love coffee. Oh, I'm sorry. Venus Blue. I see. I'm sorry. But I completely understand though, like if you can't have it, you should not have it whatsoever. Um, so okay, Sarah said that decaf is bean flavored water. Hmm, that's interesting. So it's not like the actual thing, they're just beans and it's just water. It's like to appease people, right? Like to say, haha, you really are having coffee. Is that what that is? You do half and half. Okay. All right. Now hold up. Let me share with everybody because I'm a little late. We live now and we have so much to get into, you guys. You said not flavored water. I guess decaf wouldn't be coffee at all. Right, Phil Pessima? What is it? Like, what is decaf? Let me know. You said it mean I don't want to poop myself in public because I can't use. Hold up. Yo, coffee beat. I mean, listen, you've been backed up for a couple days. Take yourself, get yourself a really nice coffee, really charged. That's what you got to do. Shout out to Lorraine. Listen, Lorraine came here and said, "Listen, Rabbit, this is what this means." Okay, she came here to wake it up. Now, hold up. Let me share this live with everybody on the Discord because I know some of y'all are hungover. Shout out to my beautiful people. Let me ask you guys a question. ¿Quién tiene la cruda ahora? Meaning, who's hungover? Who needs to run to Tia Lola's to go get a freaking menudo to sober up? Let me know. Who's running to go get the menudo to sober up? Because you guys be partying it up way too much. Let me know. Who needs the menudo to sober up? Let me know. Not me, says Brisket. All right. We live now. Get in here, Discord, right now. Shout out to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You need a michelada for la cruda? Oh my God, not a michelada. Oh my God. Yo. Well, listen. Shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Shout out to you guys. Somebody asked me a couple days ago, and I forgot to mention, I had too much eyeliner, or not eyeliner, lip liner going on. It's one of my favorite lip liners. Somebody asked me, and I'm gonna link it in the description box. The person that keeps asking me what color I'm wearing. So this is and I'll link it so y'all know, a buttercream Too Faced nude apricot. I think that's what it's called, and it smells like freaking chocolate. I just want to bite it sometimes. I'm like, ooh, that smells so good. But yeah, for those that are wondering, it will be linked. I'll put something over here for those. Now, I would never spend money like crazy money. Too Faced is too expensive, but I got a deal on it. I went to a separate place. So typically this runs for like 25 bucks. I got it for 10. I wait for things to go on sale, y'all, because I don't have that kind of money to be spending all over. Okay. Shout out to everybody. Shout out. You said I'm usually watching on my TV, so I can't comment as easily. No worries, baby. K40 444. Shout out to you. I cannot read. Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to eat my lipstick, but it's really good. It's really good. Now I'm noticing I do wear a lip liner because I have a thing about lip liners, and I told you guys that. But I definitely recommend, but not for full price. Like there's probably some sales going on, 25 bucks, but you can get it for like $10. Okay. Shout out to you guys. All right. Can we get started, you guys? Because we have much to get into. So Buzbee decides to submit a response to this back and forth with the Jane Doe. We got to get into that. And then guess what? All right. Chanel Banks, and I will give you guys the short and sweet of this. Chanel Banks' family, I guess, spoke to TMZ. And this is getting very interesting. Now, listen. Chanel Banks' cousin was in my comments, and she was like, this girl, is defaming my character. This is what happened. Let me give you guys the very short version of this, okay? A couple weeks ago, I want to say it was, a couple months ago, I want to say it was in October. Yeah, it had to be September to October. This woman was reported missing, okay? And this woman is actually she's an actress. I haven't seen her in a couple. She was I guess, Gossip Girl. She played an extra in other shows, but she hasn't been around. It's been a couple years since she's acted. So the family, her mom and her cousin is from Canada. Okay. Her mom, I believe, is, from the United States. Okay. So they're here. They get concerned because they're not hearing back from Chanel. Okay. So then they decide to go to the police. The police is like, well, they process a missing persons report. Chanel's not nowhere to be found. Chanel is married and actually with her husband. Okay. So then the family decides to do like a press conference type of situation. So they're doing a press conference. They're out front. They're accusing Chanel's husband of having something to do with her disappearance. Allegedly, it's been said that they might have broken into the apartment. They're accusing the husband of tearing down the missing person posters. So this is all bubbling up. Well, then Chanel appears and she does an interview and basically says, I'm not missing. I'm trying to get away from my family, the cousin and the mother. Oh, that's my understanding. That's what she tried to do. Okay. Now hold up. Shout out to Diddy who just gifted 10 memberships. Give me 1 second. I think I see a familiar name in the chat. Give me one. I just saw somebody in the chat. I want to make sure I'm not like, thank you again, Didi. Thank you. If you've been gifted, put a heart in the chat. Thank you, Didi. Happy New Year's to you, love. Danielle, you're her cousin. So Danielle has been in our comments. Danielle did email me. Shout out to Danielle. And I'm gonna tell you, Danielle, because I'm like, I ain't trying to get involved because it seems like a very familial type of situation. But you guys contacted TMZ. Am I hearing this correctly? And so this news dropped yesterday where a private eye hired by the family calls BS on family abuse claims, trying to revitalize failed acting career. Chanel Banks is trying to revive a failed acting career, and she's manufacturing drama with her family to do so. So says a private eye her family members hired to find. Now, this is Danielle. For those that don't know, this is her. Okay. Did you know TMZ contacted us after getting a hold of her? After getting a hold of her, filed restraining order, filed or failed, which was denied immediately. Danielle, I'm gonna do this, okay? I'm gonna put the link in the chat if you have some words to say about this. If you can talk, because I know y'all got like this back and forth thing going on. So I want to be very careful, Danielle. But I mean, she filed a restraining order on you guys. Like and I'm just saying as an outsider, because it's looking like you guys aren't leaving her alone. So are you guys trying to help, fix the information by just saying like, listen, this is not how it happened. So TMZ, what it sounds like, they contacted you guys about the story. Am I hearing this correctly? And by the way, the link is in the chat if you want to click it. Let me know, because Jenny, TMZ can't be trusted. We know that. So this broke yesterday, and I didn't see anybody else really talking about it. And I said, well, this was like in the news. Yeah, TMZ can be very much, they're not, what's the word? Unbiased, right? But let me know if you're gonna hit it. I'm here, okay? And I can also email it to you. Let me know. But anyways, so it goes. This is Danielle. She's the one in the chat for those that are wondering. So, did I hear? Okay, Danielle. Do you want to share? Do you want to show your face or no? Because you don't have to if you don't want to. Is that a yes? Put a thumbs up if you want to show your face. Okay, cool. I'm gonna bring you up. Okay. Okay, Danielle. How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. How are you doing?
Let me just tie up my hair so I can look half decent for your wonderful show. Okay. It is now almost noon in Toronto, so yes, we slept in.
So you're in Canada currently, is that correct?
Yep, that's where I live.
So you flew all the way from Canada to basically look for your cousin that
Actually,
is not missing.
I drove from Toronto to Judy's house in New York because she was distraught. And by the time I drove over, 3 wellness checks were already performed. And then by the time I got there, it was about an 8-hour drive. LAPD called me that night and said, listen, we just performed the 4th wellness check. Her husband is still saying that he doesn't know who he is. And so we're going to go ahead. This is what LAPD told me on the phone. We're going to go ahead and grant a missing persons report. We don't normally do this over the phone. It's only ever done in person. However, you guys don't live in California. And we've been there 4 times. And this is what the officer was telling me. And he said, we're not sure if you guys can come down here, but we do believe that she is a missing person. Her husband is saying he doesn't know where she is. And we've been there 4 times over the course of 48 hours at that point. So me and Judy are hearing this on the phone and we're like, okay, well.
Judy is mom, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were alarmed because we had just we text with her all the time. So we just went ahead and booked a flight from New York to LA and we were there the next morning.
Mom doesn't live in the US. Does she live in Canada with you guys?
No, she lives in New York.
She lives in New York. I'm sorry. I think I heard that. Okay. So are you like, I guess, because from the outside perspective, when she gave that interview, it looked like you guys were not like letting her be. Is that the case? Like,
yeah. So what took us by surprise is when TMZ contacted me. Was it the day after Boxing Day? Yeah, the day after Boxing Day, so the 27th. And I was literally in the grocery store. And they're like, do you have any comment about the restraining order Chanel filed? And I said, what are you talking about? I'm like, what? And in my head, I'm like, why would she file anything? We haven't had any contact with her since October. When she came out on her interview, when we were still in LA for those few days, and she said, I'm fine, I'm alive, whatever. We said, okay, great, she's alive, we can go home. Whatever she was doing between her and the church that she was with is her business,
Yeah.
Wanted to know was that she was alive. Obviously, it wasn't helpful with her husband taking missing persons flyers down. That's not alleged. That's caught on camera, and that's been by their neighbors. The only press conference I ever did was I did one press conference outside of their building.
Yeah.
Was requested by media, because at that point that we had seen a body cam still and footage. I saw the footage of a woman in Texas that Texas PD were claiming that was Chanel. So when they called us and said, "Oh, we found her," we went straight to the station in LA, and they showed us the body cam and the footage with the audio. So I was able to hear the woman, and it was me, Chanel's mom, and our grandmother who flew in from Florida, and all three of us said, "That's not Chanel. That doesn't even sound like her." And then
Yeah.
even went so far as to play a voicemail from Chanel to the officers. And I said, "This is my cousin's voice. You can compare the two between the voicemail I'm giving you and this woman in the video." So then LAPD, I think 2 days later, went ahead and closed the case, but didn't tell us. So that's my fault. I didn't know.
Okay.
Contacted us and said they closed the case based on the body cam footage, as they believe that it
Well,
was.
that's not your fault. That's their fault that they didn't tell you. Like, they should have said something.
No, it was my fault that I blasted TMZ because they were the first to break the story and say it
I
was.
got you. Okay.
Yeah, I did reach out to TMZ when the woman called me, and I apologized. Like last week, when she called me, and asked me for comment about the restraining order. I said, I'm really sorry, but at that time I didn't know that the case was closed, based on the woman from Texas. We still don't believe that woman is her. We still think that's somebody else. It doesn't look like her. And even if you compare that body cam, still, it's on the internet. And I also released that on my social media. If you
Yeah.
compare that photo to Chanel's pictures that she posted over the Christmas holiday that's been posted on TMZ, you can clearly see it's two different people. But that's neither here or there. We thought she was missing. She came out later on and said, "Okay, I'm not missing." We went home. We at that point we had already had a private investigator. We didn't hire a private investigator recently. This was since in November when she went missing. When
Mhm.
LAPD closed the case and said that woman in the body cam in Texas was her, we realized that we weren't getting help anymore from LAPD, and we went ahead and we hired a private detective.
Okay.
So then, whatever, fast forward to a couple days ago, TMZ calls me, asked me for comment, and I said, "Comment on what?" They said, "Well, Chanel just filed a restraining order against you." And I said, "But why would she need to? We don't live there. I have no way of contacting her. She's changed her number. I've been blocked on all social media since November. So
Mhm.
we know she's alive, so we don't have a reason to contact her."
Yeah, because I thought that's where everything ended. That's why I was like, "Whoa, what is this about?"
We were living our best lives. Like, all we wanted to know was that Chanel was alive. The world is such a crazy place in today's day and age, where people go missing and you don't see, they just fall off the face of the earth, or you know God forbid something terrible happens to them. And we were just making sure that our family member, Judy is Chanel's mom. That's her only child. My older cousin, she's the first grandchild of our family, and I'm the second. So we were always been close. I literally dropped what I was doing, grabbed
Mhm.
I left my 5-year-old in Canada, took my 1-year-old with me, and jumped on a plane and got to LA. Like,
Yeah.
drove to New York overnight, and then in a few hours jumped on a plane to LA. Never been to LA before, never been to California before.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my first and probably my only time after ever going, because I just can't understand what the backlash is about. Like, why does she feel the need to continue to, like, keep the story up? We have moved on in our lives. Like, we are happy
Yeah.
that she's alive, and that's all that matters to us. Whatever she does, she's a grown woman. She's 36 years old. Whatever
Yeah.
she chooses to do is up to
You
her.
guys are not trying to put her in, like, a conservatorship or anything like that. Am I
That was
because
the when she said that word conservatorship, we were literally on the floor shocked, because we there's no way. Like, first of all, you can go on Google, all those stuff are public knowledge. Like, you can look up who has a conservatorship, who filed for a conservatorship, who has one, who doesn't have one. We've never filed. She's lived in California for over 10 years. Her mom's lived in New York. I've lived in Canada. Like I said, I can't control her. I'm her younger cousin. I'm raising 2 kids. I have my own life. I've never been to California. I didn't go to her wedding last year because my newborn was 6 weeks old, so I told her I couldn't
Mhm.
come. But my mom went, and one of my sisters went. So, like, it's actually, this is so crazy. This is actually getting out of hand at this point.
Yeah. Well, and I'm kind of wondering. So then, what happened with the GoFundMe? Like, what was that all
Yeah.
about?
Okay, so the GoFundMe, I was told by several people to make one, and I was kind of skeptical about it. I've never made one
Mhm.
before. However, I went ahead and made one. We didn't know what we were up against. All Judy and I knew at the time was that we weren't going to leave LA until we knew where she was,
Right.
knew that she was alive, right? And when I made this GoFundMe and I stated we need money for a private detective, private investigator, um, hotels, car rental, and food, because we're not from here and we don't know how long we're going to be here for. GoFundMe was just under five grand, I think, and it
Mhm.
was paused because that's when the body cam still came out. So people believed that that was her.
Oh.
So then it was paused, and I hadn't, when I created the GoFundMe, I never put in any banking information because honestly, really and truly, and I've said this before, I naively thought that I would come to LA and like run into Chanel at like a Target or a Starbucks, and she would be like, "Ugh, my husband's just driving me nuts, so I'm just taking, I'm just hiding out for a few days," or something minor,
But did he even know where she was at? Because I'm just wondering in my mind, I'm like, well, if you're maybe okay, like tell the family to just go back home, everything's
Yeah.
fine. Like, what role did he play in helping
His
the situation?
his story changed so many times, and that's when we realized we didn't have him on our side, because we truly felt he was hiding something. Because how do you tell LAPD, who was at your house 4 times within 48 hours, I don't know where my wife is, and then turn around to say, okay, well, I dropped her off at the airport, but I don't know where she went, and then turn around the next day to say, oh, I pinged her AirPods and they're in Texas. Oh, and then turn around to say, "Oh, well, she went away and she'll contact you when she's ready." Like his story changed so much that we couldn't believe anything that he was saying, especially when you're telling law enforcement, "I don't know where my wife is," off the bat.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But anyways, with the GoFundMe thing, long story short, they paused it because of the body cam still, and the footage wasn't released, but the family was able to see the footage in the police department. uh,
Okay.
the still was released to public, and that's why it was paused. I reached out to GoFundMe 2 days, I believe, later, because that's when Chanel's interview came out. However, let's just put this on the record. Before her interview came out with Extra, I think it was it was the day before her interview came out. We saw her on that YouTube video, the church YouTube video that she went to. We saw her walk across the screen.
Oh,
That night when we saw her on that YouTube video, because we scoured those videos for hours. Those videos are like 6, 7, 8 hours long, and there were multiple videos. So we scoured them because at that point, that's how we figured out where she was. Um, and if we really were stalking her, wouldn't we have gone to Texas to harass her? No, we left LA, we went home. We were happy that she was alive.
did
Anyways,
you guys break into his house though, or his apartment? Like, because he's, I'm just saying, wait, y'all beat up the husband? What happened?
okay, so when we
Don't
arrived,
say anything incriminating. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but I will have to say I heard that they beat up the husband. What is that all about?
yeah, that's something we need to address too. When we arrived, Judy asked him, "What happened to your face?" He had a cracked lip and he had scratches going down his neck, and he was wearing a long sleeve. He said, "My lips are chapped and I have a rash, and that's why I've been scratching." So whatever. He opens the door and I slip in behind him. I didn't break down the door. I didn't pick the lock. Yeah, did I enter the residence? Yes. Did I touch anything in there? No. I was shaking when I got in there because I was actually really upset that she wasn't there. I literally sat on the couch. He called the police and the police came. That's all that happened. That now when the police arrive, Judy says it was 4 officers and a sergeant, says to the police, take a look at his face. So the police take their flashlights out, make him look at his lip, look at the scratches, and they come over to us and they say, yeah, we believe him that his lip is just chopped from the dry air, and he has a rash on his neck, and those are the scratches that you're seeing. Well, lo and behold, now Miss Chanel comes out a couple days ago before the article yesterday, so 2 days before yesterday, saying that I did those things when his lip was already healed. Like if I had busted his lip, it would have been bleeding when the police arrived, wouldn't it have been? So
Yeah.
that is insane that even the husband told police, no, my lip is chapped from the dry air and I have a rash and that's why the scratches are on me. And now Chanel's changing the story, and it's all on in the police record. So that was the other. Anyways, let me finish the GoFundMe thing.
Yes,
I,
go
I
ahead.
contacted GoFundMe after her interview came out. After we saw her on the YouTube video, and I said, "Yep, we see her. Please go ahead and refund it." I remember I haven't received $1. I didn't put in any banking information, so I contacted them through text and through emails, and I provided the email on my social media. I have screenshots of everything, and I said, "Yeah, go ahead and refund everybody," which they did because I requested it. If I really was out for money, I could have said to GoFundMe, yeah, we found her. However, we still incurred the cost of 2 hotels, a car rental, and food for the week, and I want that money. But that what I was like, you know what? The most important thing is that my cousin is alive.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and refund everybody. We'll handle it. Whatever we have to do. And
So
that
everybody got their money back that donated.
Yep,
Okay.
everybody got their money back. It was never a scam on our behalf. We truly
Mhm.
did believe Chanel was missing. We truly did believe
Yeah.
she was in trouble. And the story is being so spinned on her side and trying to pin us like we're the bad people. But I think the most telling thing, sorry, my 1-year-old just entered.
You're fine.
I think the most telling thing is the fact that she filed a restraining order against us and it was denied on the same day. I think that because the police have so much police reports through that 7 days that we were 6 days or 7 days that we were in LA. So and they would know as soon as I'm sure as soon as she said, "Oh, Danielle did those assaulted my husband." I'm sure those police officers, the 4 officers and a sergeant who arrived, would have been like, "No, the husband literally said his lips were chapped and he had a
Well,
rash."
and that's documented too, right? Like
Exactly.
if especially so somebody's lying or telling the truth, and I mean they can
Yeah.
subpoena all these people, and especially officers, they can go into the court and speak
Yeah.
to what they saw and what they didn't see.
Yeah. So, TMZ wrote an article yesterday saying what our private detective what it was able to find, and like this thing is for us on our side. It's been done. It's been a private family matter after she came out, and we left LA. She returned to LA a few weeks later. She's been living her life. All of a sudden, you just feel the need to go to the court and file a restraining order. Is the motive is beyond me. I'm not sure why. Um,
But what triggered Danielle? Let me go back, okay,
yeah,
to just like the first time that you guys find out that she was missing. Like, what even triggered? Because it sounds like, I mean, if I remember correctly from your email, it was kind of like, just kind of something that happened. You guys were having contact with her, and then suddenly this is what happened.
yeah.
What triggered all of this?
No idea. It was like literally one day she asked her mom for money. Her mom sent it. And then her mom didn't hear anything back. And she was like, "Hey, hun, did you get the money? Like, did you get it? Like, let me know if it was deposited or did I send it to the wrong account or whatever." No response. And it was just, it's insane. Like, she claims that she left LA on November the 7th, but November the 7th was when we asked for the first wellness. Like I did the wellness checks from Toronto. I called LAPD and
Yeah.
we haven't heard from my cousin. She lives in LA. We haven't heard from her. At that point, it was like 5 or 6 days. It hadn't been a full week yet. Um,
Yeah.
they went, and the first time officers went to their address, husband refused to answer the door. So LAPD called for tools. When the tools arrived and husband heard the tools were being used at the door, he opened the door and said, "Okay, fine, I'll let you in." Okay. Then they went another 12 hours later, she's still not there. Then they went another 12 hours later, and she's still not there. And on the 4th time when she wasn't there, husband is still saying, "I don't know where my wife is. My wife I've been married to for just over a year. I don't know where she is. Sorry." And all her
This
things,
is
all of her
so
belongings are
weird.
there. All of her clothes, all of her shoes, all of her jewelry, all of her makeup was there. What are we to believe? And what is LAPD to believe? Yeah.
Yeah. How long has she been married? Did she just get married? Because it seemed like it'd been like a
Yeah,
thing that they
she's
just
been
happened.
married just over a year. I think they got married in
Okay.
September. of 23.
Was her mom concerned about like the Robert Clancy church or any like? Did she have any concerns about that? Not that if she wants to join a church, a cult, or whatever the hell she wants to. I mean, that's on her. But
yeah, like at that point, like at this point, whatever she wants to do is up to her. Are we concerned? We are concerned for the YouTube videos that we've seen. We are concerned for the fact that not only just me and Judy, but like LAPD, private detective, and several other people have reached out to this pastor and he's refusing to comment. I mean, if you aren't running a cult, wouldn't you come out and be like, listen, I'm just an everyday pastor sharing the word and I just want people to come to Jesus and that's all I do. But hiding and not posting and deleting posts and not answering emails and changing their phone number is kind of sketchy to me, but that's neither here or there for me. All I cared about was that my cousin Chanel was alive. She's alive.
yeah,
I came home. I came back just in time for my son to turn 6. And also through this whole thing, it's like almost living like a Netflix documentary or an HBO special. I didn't feel like I was living my life for a long, long time. I still kind of don't
yeah,
now with this whole restraining order thing, because it's like we haven't had contact with her since October. So I don't understand what the need for a restraining order was. And that's why TMZ came out with that article. That was their take on it, that they believe she's doing it for publicity. To be quite honest, me and her mother don't know what the motive was. What was the motive to go get baptized when you've already been baptized years ago? What was the motive to ask for money for and be talking throughout the whole month of October to your mom, and then as soon as October 30th or November 1st hit, you want to go cold turkey? No contact.
how is her mom doing? Like, is she?
She's not okay. Like,
Yeah. Oh man.
only one child, and then you talk to your child almost every day or every other day, and you're financially helping them even though they're married, and you only see your child at Christmas every year. I can't, like, I have 2 kids and I can't imagine not being able to speak to one of them, or
Yeah.
one of them just waking up one morning and being like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. But that's the whole thing. Chanel's claiming that she told us that she's cutting off from the family and that she wants nothing to do with us, or she doesn't want contact. It was not like that at all. It was literally one day we were laughing and joking around on text messages, which I've posted. I've also posted Judy's last text messages with her as well. And it was like one day they were just chit-chatting. She asked for money, mother sent money, and the next day she was gone. There was
Yeah.
never any talk about, I want to take a time off for myself or disconnect from social media, or I want to, nothing. Chanel literally got a new phone. I think a few weeks before she went to Texas, she was telling her mom that she wanted to get a new phone, the latest iPhone, and her mom sent her money to get the latest.
Wow.
Then Chanel says, okay, mom, I'll save my old phone for you and I'll give it to you when you come here for Christmas. Because one of their last phone conversations was, mom, what days are you coming for Christmas? Because I need to know what day to pick you up from the airport and whatever, whatever. Then Judy says, okay, I'm coming this date to this date. Chanel says, can you stay longer? And Judy says, actually, no, I can't, because Danielle's going to bring the kids to New York for a few days to spend Christmas also. So Chanel was kind of pissed about that, but she was okay with it. She was like, oh, okay. Because they were going to go to his family, the husband, Chanel's husband's side family, for the holidays too. And she wanted her mom to come with her, but her mom's not really much of a traveler. The only place she'll really travel to is over here to Canada, which is not that far. It's not as far as coming across the country from New York to California, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, it was a hard Christmas for her mom. Her mom misses her so dearly. And like, despite the terrible, nasty things Chanel is saying, her mom misses her and wants to hear her voice and wants to see her one day. But all we have right now is the fact that she's alive. A lot of families don't have that. A lot of families, their loved one goes missing and they don't know anything for years and years, or they turn up dead, or whatever the case is.
right.
All we can do is thank Jesus that she's alive and
Absolutely.
pray that one day she comes to her senses. I mean, we do have a court hearing coming up, and hopefully, we don't know if. I mean, the restraining order has been denied. It was denied immediately because obviously law enforcement knows and has on record that we truly were just a family looking for our family member. And then obviously with the lies that she spread about the assault, saying I assaulted her husband, which was not true. I never put my hands on him. So,
But would he, if it didn't happen, do you think he would lie for her?
oh, he's been lying for her now that she's back. Yeah, she's been lying for her.
Wow.
But I can't imagine him going on the stand and lying and saying I did those things to him when he's fully already told officers, and it's been in the police report, and police were wearing body cam that day when they arrived to the apartment. Him saying,
Wow.
I have a chapped lip from the fires in California. The air is really dry, so my lips are chapped, and that's why it's cracked, and it's almost healed. And I have a rash, and I've been itching my rash, and that's literally.
Chris, I'm sorry, Danielle. Christine has a question. I think it's a good question. Is any idea why Chanel said she wasn't close to you guys? Because to you specifically, because she said I hadn't seen this cousin and like,
Yeah,
and maybe its time frame is, I think she said like 15 years, if I remember correctly, the interview.
yeah.
Why would she say any of that?
I haven't physically seen Chanel in many, many, many years. However, we do have phone conversations and text messages that I've proven that I've posted. I also find it very telling, two things actually. In one interview, she says she hasn't talked to me in 15 years. Another interview, she says she hasn't talked to me in 10 years. The interview with Extra, she said she hasn't talked to me in 3 weeks. If I'm so controlling at what she put in her court documents, if I'm such a controlling person and I'm out for her money and I want conservatorship and all this BS, how can somebody do that? One second, honey. How can somebody do that? Um, I haven't seen her in 15 years. You know,
Yeah.
her story just doesn't add up. Meanwhile, on our side, on my side and Judy's side, we've handed our phones over to LAPD. They went through our text messages, they went through our call logs, they went through our FaceTime history, and they saw that they saw what they saw. They saw that there's contact there. You know,
Yeah.
we've been on our side. We've been open about everything. Everybody who's asked me, show us the receipts, show us you contacted GoFundMe, show us your last text messages, show us your last phone calls.
Yeah.
I've
You've
done.
been very, I mean, at least the email that I got, you seem like you wanted to clear whatever was happening because you can understand. And I think a lot of us here that our perspective is we're watching you guys outside of doing the conference. And then at the same angle, we're also watching Chanel saying like she just left a really horrible situation. So
Yeah,
we're kind of left in the middle of like, well, some of us I know can relate to people that leave horrible situations.
yeah.
So I appreciate that you're not like afraid to address anything that's being thrown at you.
I,
At least
I'm
that's
not
what I feel
like.
like.
I just want to put this on the record. I'm not mad at Chanel. I don't hate her. I What
Hmm.
I'm doing is I'm trying to clear my name because I'm in school for law, and I don't want this to hinder me getting a job when I
Right.
graduate. And I also, on the other hand, I truly believe that she's not in her right mind, because I know my cousin. She would never ever.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna speak on one thing. One of her last social media posts on her Instagram story stated that, with my full name, that I was under investigation for child abuse and neglect in both America and Canada. That to me was the lowest of the low that she could have gone. But even at that time, I still didn't believe it was her behind her social media. And today, if you ask me today if I believe it was her, I still kind of don't know. I actually don't know at this point. In the beginning, I really thought it wasn't her who had her social media or had her. I didn't believe she even had her phone, because they did come out to say they don't have technology at that retreat that they were at that church.
Hmm.
So when the first story came out about the abuse and all the terrible things she wrote about her family, I was like, there's no way she's writing this. She probably told somebody and then they wrote it. And then they're just trying to. My whole thing is, I think that the church is trying to segregate her from her family, and that's what they do in cults. They pull you away. They want you on your own. And I think that's what the motive is here, but I can't be for sure. We obviously don't know. We don't have a final answer. Um,
Okay.
but that's what it looks like. If you look at all the other cult documentaries, they do the same things. They pull the person away, tell them your family is bad for you. The devil is in your family. You don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
They're not going to want you to come to our church. They're not going to want you to be involved in our church. And I think that's what happened. I truly believe that she's not, that she didn't
In
have,
her right mind.
yeah.
So Ashley says, I wonder if there's some drug use going on, or is there a history of mental health issues? Any of that you're able to talk about? Like, there's no drug use going on that you know of?
Not that I know of. I don't believe she's a person to use drugs. However, the private detective did tell me that when you go to these retreats and these events at these high control groups, they do use ayahuascas and mushrooms and like psychedelics
Mhm.
to bring you. They help you to believe that you're getting closer to God. Um, and then we saw her in the interview, and her eyes were kind of weird. Her mouth was kind of dry. People are picking up on that, and I didn't really look too much into it. You know what I was looking at? I was listening to what the words that she was saying.
Yeah.
This is to show how concerned I was at the time. She was pausing quite a lot in that interview. So I took out a pen and paper, and every time she paused, I wrote down the next two words that she said, and then she did another pause, and then she continued her sentence. And I truly believed at that point it was a cry for help, or it was some kind of sign, because the words were like abominable things, head out. Um, there was so many things, and I thought it was like she was trying to tell us something. I thought she
Mhm.
was trying to tell us that she was in trouble. So I gave the list to LAPD. I gave the list, sorry, not to LAPD, because they weren't even involved at that time. I gave the list to our private detective, and I said, like, look at this list. Tell me what it was like. Speech pattern. I was basically looking at her speech pattern to see if there was something there. Nothing really came of it, because like I said, we don't have any proof of what the motive is here. Why did she go? What was the need to go? Why didn't she come back after the retreat? Like whatever. Like I said, she's a grown woman. She can make her own choices. All we really cared about was the fact that she was alive. um
Yeah.
but the motives I think is what drives me and her mom crazy. Like the why did she feel the need to file a restraining order after there's been no contact since October? We don't have her phone number, we don't live near her, we don't have social media. For like we're blocked on social media. So how are we contacting you? Because I have no way of contacting her, nor do I feel the need to contact her. So
That I think that's a great question for her, like, why the
yeah.
need? Now, why, let me ask you a question. With the private investigator, why did you guys feel the need to did you guys hire the private investigator after, or like before she appeared, after she appeared? When did that happen?
Before
Before.
it appeared, yeah, because when LAPD closed the case based on the Texas body cam of that woman saying that that was her, and they were no longer willing to help anymore. When even though we pleaded with them and we said no, that's not her, that's not her. We gave LAPD a voicemail. We've given them recent pictures and videos of her. I mean, they had her social media as well to compare to, and the officer I spoke with in Texas literally said to me on the phone, I kid you not, well, she has dark brown hair, so we believe it's her. And I said, what?
Mm,
I said, the woman in the body cam has brown eyes and Chanel has blue eyes. Oh, well, she could be wearing contacts. We don't know. Well, we think that's her because it's the same hair color. I said, well, that's what it comes down to now, huh? That's what police work is now. We're just going to assume that somebody. Okay, cool. So that's when and at that point, to be quite honest, several private investigators had already reached out to me, but we were
yeah.
kind of vetting them as we were going along. We didn't like some of them. Some of them were kind of too old school for us. And we found this guy who was amazing and from the get.
Mhm.
And we told him, listen, like we don't have a oh honey, sorry.
It's
We don't
okay. It's okay.
we don't have a GoFundMe right now, so we don't have the funds right now. However, and if you feel you can help us in any which way, please let us know. And he was willing to help us without payment.
Yeah.
Payment came later on for us, and we truly appreciate this detective's work. He's helped us immensely. He was able to find out things that we wouldn't have been able to find out on our own. Kind of been able to close some of the gaps for us. Um, you know, but at the final straw and the pin in this is that she is alive. She is,
Yeah.
yeah, she's alive. She's well, and we wish her the best. But do what you got to do, girl. But don't bring down me. Don't bring down my name. Don't bring down my family name, because that's not fair to us.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I'm not going to keep you for too long, because I understand, you got to tend to your children, but I truly wish I'll definitely stay in contact with you if that's okay with you, and I truly hope that you guys figure this out. You know what I mean? And now you're having to go to court over whatever it is, and I mean, at least what I'm picking up is that you've been pretty forward and transparent and willing to discuss some of the questions. And you, I think, can understand a little bit of the background or the pushback and, backlash a little bit of like, we're not getting this, but I can understand where you're coming from of just being concerned. And now that's done.
Yeah.
Why is this restraining order coming up? Why is this a thing?
Yeah.
And the question is this Chanel's way of trying to put herself out there in social media in a way in which, if it's not through acting, because I think it's been well over 10 years that she's had a job in Hollywood as a, side character, then maybe it's through social media, and that does happen. I do wonder about that.
Well, that is what TMZ said when they called me. So it wasn't calling TMZ to say, hey, I think she's pulling a publicity stunt. No, that was their words, and they asked me to comment on it. And to me, that's what it looks like. Like I said, we don't know what the real motive is. Is this a ploy to get her face in the public so that she can bring more people to the church? Is this a ploy to, because isn't it so telling that, I don't know how it works in America, but like in Canada, if I were to file a restraining order against somebody and say I'm worried for my life, I would need to have significant proof, and for them and law enforcement in LA to just automatically deny it right away.
Yeah.
Proof, because there is I have not made any contact with this girl. My last text message with her was in October.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, that's not true. I sent her text messages in the beginning of November. Chanel, where are you? And I request her location because it's iPhone to iPhone. Request the location. Chanel, we're looking for you. Your mom's really worried. Like, I have those ones, but no response from those. But like our last conversation was October, and
definitely. Tico says, I'm not a doctor, but generally PSA, some conditions can be exacerbated by psychedelics and hallucinogens, namely schizophrenia. Those are genetically passed on and can be triggered. Absolutely, Tinkle Tits. Thank you, Tinkle Tits. Danielle, let me follow up with you. I'm going to let you go so you could go tend to the, children. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. I mean, you hit the link. I mean, you did it. So that's a lot. Some folks would be like, I'm not, and that's fine. I was a little worried. I'm telling you, I was like, I don't want to get involved in some family issues or anything like that. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's a messy situation. And if I was somebody else looking from the inside, I'd probably be saying the same things everybody else is saying. Like, don't put it out there. Like, keep it between you guys. But you know what? When somebody's coming after you and your name, and like, I'm such a loyal person, like, you can come after my dog and I would come for you. Like, you can come after my but and like my kids especially, but like then like she's saying things now about the entire family. The things that she's saying are not true, and she doesn't have any proof, right? I'm the one who is willingly putting my face out there saying, hey, like, I'll answer any questions you have. You want me on your podcast, or you want me on you want to make an article, you want to write something, like whatever it is, let me help you. Because and it's not me reaching out to people, it's people who have reached out to me. Because when we came home from LA, we were like, okay, she's alive. Whatever she does is up to her. When she's ready, she can reach out to us. We're not going to change her number. We're not going to block her. When she comes to her right state of mind, or she needs something, we're always going to be here for her. That is our blood. That is our family. And we're going to have her back however she needs our help, we'll help her. And now we've been living our lives since we came back. All of November. We came back November 16th. So 2 more weeks in November, all of December, Christmas comes, and TMZ calls me and says she files a restraining order on Boxing Day that was denied. So it's like,
and that's how you found out about it, because they were writing a story about it. So I don't know if she has a contact with TMZ, because you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how people kind of get a hold of each other that way. Oh my.
Yeah, I was in the grocery store and I said, isn't this the lady I yelled at when I was in LA? Because she had released the article saying that the case was closed. And I was like, you never called me for comment. I've been out here with all the other media. They've all had my comments, and you never even asked me. This is not true. They never closed the case, when in fact they did close the case, but LAPD never even told us. They never contacted. unless they would close the case. So yeah, I was like, isn't this the same girl? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought she was calling to tell me something. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the way I spoke to you. Like, I cussed her out. I let her have it that day. She's like, no, I totally understand. I see where the miscommunication was. We didn't know that LAPD didn't tell you the case was closed. We were just reporting on what LAPD told us. I was like, yeah, it's not nice that they told you guys before they told the family, but whatever. It's neither here or there. She's alive. We're happy. Hope you have a great Christmas. Happy New Year. She's like, actually, do you have a comment on the restraining order? And I said, what restraining order? I didn't file a restraining order against her. She's like, no, Chanel filed a restraining order against you and her mom on Boxing Day yesterday, which was the day before she called me. And I'm literally in the grocery store, and I had to like put the basket down, and I'm like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Thank God Judy was at my house with my kids, because I just ran out to get a couple things.
Yeah, and Judy, by the way, for those that are like, who's Judy? Again, that's Chanel's mom.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, when I saw the first article, I said, let me share it with everybody. Then I saw you in the comments, and I let everybody in the Discord know, look, guys, this is Danielle, this is Chanel's cousin. This is getting kind of sticky. I wonder about this. Lord have mercy, what's going on, you know? But you know, and I told you, hey, just message me on my email, and luckily you did email me, and I got a good understanding of, you know, the different things that you were going through. That being said, though, Danielle, I'm gonna follow up with you if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
I mean, I guess we'll keep following this. I'm wondering, I do wonder what Chanel's gonna say about, I don't know, any of this. I don't think she's ever watched this channel or any of the coverage that we've done, but I do wonder if she's gonna watch this specific. I'm sure somebody will give it to her and let her know.
The world is too small, so I'm sure she'll see it. That's what I'm saying. Like, if she, I don't know, like, all I know is from what I see, and I can see her mom is not well. Her mom is not okay, and I couldn't do the things that she's doing to her mom. Like, our moms are sisters, so I couldn't do it to my mom. I don't know how she is even still okay with living with not being able to talk to her mom, because I can't go a day without talking to mine. So
it's hard.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, like I said, we wish her the best. We want the best for her. We love her to the end of the earth and back. And I guess we'll be seeing her in court, you know?
Yeah, we'll go from there. Well, keep us updated. You got my email. Let me know. You know, thank you so much for hitting the link. I'm gonna let you go because I could see. I'm gonna, by the way, those that are watching, I'm gonna upload portions of this and do a shorter video where I explain the situation and kind of give both sides of an assessment, at least from what I see. But I appreciate you hitting the link because this makes me see things a little bit more different. All right.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Danielle. You have a good one. Okay. Say bye to your babies.
You say
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Say
Happy New Year. Oh my God, so cute. Look. Oh.
Say happy, guys.
Happy New Year. Bye. Have a good one, Danielle. You guys drop some flowers in the chat, hearts in the chat for Danielle who hit the link. Oh my goodness. Was not expecting that, but I really hope that the situation gets resolved, right? And that excuse me, they're able to find something, some resolution. Yeah, she was actually really, really good. I mean, I'm a little surprised, you know, because I really thought we just don't know. There's different sides to a story. We never really know. There's, you know, everybody goes through stuff as a family. And I really hope that there's some clarity, at the very least, clarity to a lot of this, because it seems like everything's all over the place when it comes to Chanel and as things are developing. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you have hung out with me for this long, whoo, I was not expecting that. But thank you, Danielle. Shout out to you, Danielle, and I will follow up with you. We got to get into Buzbee and Diddy. Are y'all ready to move on? Let me know. Let me know. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. Yep. And you know what, Kim? When Danielle was saying those things about TMZ asking, you know, do you have a comment? You know, I kind of wonder if TMZ does things like that to kind of probe a little bit and maybe get things going for their, you know, blog and stuff like that. I do wonder if the questioning is intentional, you know, to kind of stir the pot, if you know what I mean. But shout out to everybody. Yep, a lot. We are definitely I'm gonna do a shorter video. Okay, now that we have more information. I'm glad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when Danielle was talking about the questions, like, what do you think about this? Or them making a statement, well, we just think she's trying to get clout. That to me sounds like TMZ is trying to like poke the bear to see what kind of reaction they're going to get from Danielle or family. And I'm glad that it's Danielle talking and not Judy, mom. So shout out to Danielle for handling some of this, and she's got her own family. That's what it looks like. Yeah, baby K. I don't understand. I do not trust TMZ. Sorry, TMZ, but not sorry. Okay, let's get it together, guys, because we definitely have some stuff to get into. So, Buzbee yesterday, these lawyers don't, they got to work. The lawyers got to work. You have filings in the middle of the night on Sundays, holidays, different days. It's just like, they're all over the place. But there is a new a new letter to the judge, I would say, okay, to the Honorable Annalisa Torres. Buzbee has filed a letter responding to Alex Spiro. And here's what Buzbee had to say. And this is regarding the recent letter briefs filed in Jane Doe versus Sean Carter. Your Honor, I write on behalf of plaintiff Jane Doe in response to defendant Sean Carter's letter dated December 30th, okay? And this is pursuant to defendant's request to leave to file a motion. All right. And that is for dismissal. Like they want Jane Doe's case dismissed from Sean Carter, from Jay-Z. So now Spiro's asking permission and making these requests and changing the tone a little bit because Spiro got his ass handed to him by the judge. Defendant states his intention to move for dismissal on the grounds that Doe cannot pursue her claims under the New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. Okay. They list the act there. And this is what the argument that Spiro gave. The Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act does not have retroactive effect. So if you guys remember, Spiro had said Jane Doe is out of the time frame. She can't file here. It needs to be dismissed. That was his argument. Buzbee responds, however, neither the Second Court nor the New York Court of Appeals has endorsed this reading of the GMVA, the act. In support of his argument, defendant cites a trial court order decided on an unopposed record, which is merely a persuasive authority. All right, so he's listing the argument and the cites. It's all in there. Defendant's argument as to the GMVA is unpersuasive, as it is contrary to the law's primary intention to make it easier for victims of gender-motivated violence to seek civil remedies in court, not, as defendant would have it, make it harder. So they're arguing the technicality as to why this act was assigned the way that it was. Okay, this is what Buzbee's saying. Spiro, you're getting it wrong. This GMVA was meant for, to make it easier for victims to seek these civil remedies in court, not make it harder. Okay. New York passed the GMVA in light of void left by the Supreme Court decision. And then they write the case United States versus Morrison, okay, which struck down the federal right of action for victims of gender-motivated violence under the Violence Against Women, holding that Congress lacked the authority under the Commence Clause or the Commerce Clause or of the 14th Amendment to pass such a remedy. The Supreme Court, however, urged local government to provide a remedy to women like Morrison, using that argument, who had been brutally raped, as no civilized system of justice could fail to provide her a remedy. Okay. The city council recognized that a gender-motivated violence is widespread throughout the United States, and that the 3 out of the 4 women will be the victim of a violent crime sometime during their lives. This is what an NYC admin code says. The council also concluded that victims of gender-motivated violence frequently face a climate of indifference and hostility in the courtroom system. Ain't that the truth? It is so hard. It's hard for victims to receive any empathy. You know what they call empathy in the judicial system? Ma'am, we are going to, ma'am or sir, because both men and women can be victims, we will assign you a victim advocate. That's what they see as advocacy, you know, being able to help. Mm-hmm. Listen, Mickey says Buzbee did his research fast, it seems like. These guys using Spiro is starting to look like a bad move. Mickey, it is so, like, let me just say how off the wall that is. Thank you, Danielle. I'll make sure I add that to a second video. Thank you, love. For those that are wondering, I have not paid Danielle's pay down. Danielle has never been paid. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Let me know what y'all think. And you call crazy. I mean, it's a lot, right? 3 out of 4 women will be victims of violence crime, of a violent crime during some time in their lifetime. Now, here's the deal. Cheek says 3 out of 4 victims. I kind of wonder, men who don't report their, when they've been victimized. You guys know there's a lot of stereotypes out there. Why they don't report. It's been said time and time again, in my opinion. I think that there's probably those numbers. I do wonder about that. If they actually reported crimes, whether it would be different, what it would look like. So I wonder about this. Thank you. And Tico says men do not report, right? I don't think I'm speaking out of term when I say that. I know people don't report. I know, hell, men in my own family have been victims of crimes and they don't report. Us men, we keep it to ourselves. It's true. And I bet if we were to do a number pool from the men, you would probably find that men have probably high numbers too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyways, let me not get into a tangent. Okay. So the council sought, therefore, so he goes in here to talk about like gender motivated violence, the act, what it was meant to do, how it's supposed to kind of make it easier for victims to be able to, seek legal remedies, civil legal remedies. The council sought, therefore, to create a private right of action for victims of gender motivated violence to resolve the difficulty that victims face in seeking court remedies by providing an officially sanctioned and legitimate cause of action for seeking redress for injuries resulting from gender motivated violence. It is fundamental that interpreting a statute, the court should attempt to effectuate the extent of the legislature. The council intended that the GMVA to make it easier for victims of gender motivated violence to seek court remedies, and it intended the same when it passed the 2022 amendment to the law. Now hold up. There's a summary that if y'all want to look it up. Similarly, defendant also intends to seek dismissal on the grounds that any viable GMV law claim is time barred under New York's Child Victim Act, the CVA, which preempts plaintiffs' GMV law claims. However, this court in Doe versus Gooding found that the local anti-discrimination laws are generally not preempted by the state law in New York. Moreover, Doe versus Black, and so they're citing more cases there. And he concludes by saying, finally, defendant intends to seek dismissal on the grounds that the conduct alleged in the FAC could not have occurred in New York City based on plaintiff's description of the residence in question, combined with public records, confirms that any such residence was located outside of New York City. As defendant seeks to rely on evidence outside of the pleadings, which would transform a motion to dismiss to one for summary judgment, as discovery is not yet underway. Yeah, like y'all are already fighting the fight, and a lot of it is on social media. But what does discovery look like? Can we wait for discovery? Discovery. When will we discover you? Like, honestly, can we wait? Spiro, all of this has been on social media, but I do want to know what discovery looks like. Thank you, shout out to Biscuit 911. Time does not change the truth. I just have a question. That's all I want to know. Okay. As defendant seeks to rely on evidence outside of the pleadings, which would transform a motion dismissed to one for summary judgment, as discovery, it is not yet underway. It is respectfully submitted that defendant's proposed motion to procedurally improper and should be denied. So, in the light of the foregoing, plaintiff respectfully requests the court to deny defendant's request to file a motion to dismiss. So Spiro, who filed the motion, basically said, Your Honor, do I have permission after you just yelled at me to file a motion to dismiss? He submits it anyways. I mean, it's not like, Your Honor, it is New Year's. Judge Torres is partying it up. Shout out to Judge Torres, okay? Do not feel like I'm like, these judges are having to hear all these motions and, it's crazy. Okay, so that's what Spiro submits. And then Buzbee's like, okay, let me submit this. I feel like your permission should be dismissed. Your request of whatever should be dismissed at this point, because this is the outline and you're misinterpreting what the Gender Motivated Violence Act is about. And this is why you are misinterpreting that. Let me tell you, I find it very interesting that this is where we're at. And we have not even seen, like, what do they have in their arsenal? What does discovery look like? How cocky is that? I don't care what you have to say, evidence, it's wrong. Right. Like, it's almost like, because this is what the outline is, your evidence must be off. We don't know what their evidence is. We only know what the complaint says. People take the complaint, or, that the filing, the complaint, as like that's the only thing that's behind their back. Like, we don't know what else they have. They could have a bunch of things for all we know. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what Jane Doe is doing. We don't know. She could have her time wrong, but you know what? You know what they did? They did not, like, the judge was not swayed by Torres, telling Judge Torres what to do in the courtroom. The judge was not swayed. The judge said, these are your dates. You can go sit down, and this is what's going to happen. Now, I like the fact that the judge, stood up and said, y'all are not running my courtroom. No, this is my courtroom. We're going to sit down and we're going to argue this. We're going to review what you guys have. What's your legal stuff? What's your submission? I like that. Because I think it's the only way to make it fair. Now, the judge did not say that she was going to stay as a Jane Doe forever. At some point, she will be revealed if she plans to continue this lawsuit. That I did pick up on. So I guess we'll see how long it will be. Thank you, Cookie Boy. Shout out to you. Thank you. Oh, there was a lot of gifters. Shout out to Tico Tits and everybody. Diddy, a lot of people have gifted. Thank you. How cocky is that? I don't care what you have as evidence is wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love how Spiro's asking for the same thing, just making it sound less aggressive. This is a filing. I will say Buzbee did the job here. In my opinion, Buzbee didn't go and attack Spiro in any way. Buzbee did the filing. There was no ad hominems whatsoever. That's what it seems like to me. They're just sticking to the, so this, to me, this is why I'd give Buzbee, like, wow, okay, you're not attacking Spiro, you're attacking the argument. You're saying why this applies here and how the law applies and the legislator, all that other stuff, right? You're not just attacking Spiro, because he could very well file a thing and say, nope, because you attacked me. Thank you, Didi. Thank you. It's about time everybody's getting treated equally. Money can't buy freedom. I think so too. I mean, he'll have time to fight during his own little lawsuits that he has going on. I mean, the guy, look, I don't know about you guys, but to say that an attorney gave a woman a venereal disease, like, oh my God, he's still facing camera every day. He's still, like, filing and doing his thing. But I still, in my opinion, feel like he needs to do better by his clients. Okay. That if your client, your Jane Doe, is going to go interview, you're going to be right there sitting with your client and not in Mexico. But for now, I like the way he filed this, because it wasn't any ad hominems. He could do it, but he didn't do it. He's arguing. He's tearing down Spiro's filing. I mean, you got, say whatever you want. But the two attorneys, they're doing their job, okay? Doing their job, clearly. Buzbee is a top attorney in Texas. Spiro is a top attorney everywhere else, one of the highest paying attorneys. I mean, they everybody's getting paid here. We're watching a very interesting fight happen. Yep, I agree, Biscuit. Oh man, but anyways, what do y'all think about this? I mean, I do wonder how long this is going to go, what everybody's thinking, how things are going to go from here. I do wonder. What do y'all think? Thank you. Thank you. Everybody getting paid except the victims. How much out of all this fighting will the victims actually get? That is the $1 million question. Let me know. Because typically they're the ones at the end of the day that end up losing anyways. They don't get compensated. They don't get the, the money that they deserve, that they're asking for. And it's so hard to do that when you have to hire an attorney, a top paying attorney. These attorneys are not free. I don't care how much pro bono they go and they say that they do. They're going to get paid. They're going to get paid. Nobody works for free. Yep. It's like the class action lawsuits. The attorney makes all the money and the thousands of people end up with the dollar. Don't ask me how I know. It's the truth. It is the truth. Absolutely. It's only the ones having a positive outcome. I mean, it's like you kind of have to be your own damn lawyer. It's kind of scary, but it's true. Like, get to know the law a little bit, at the very least to get around. But to me, it speaks to just how the system is set up. Whether it's civil or criminal, the lawyers always win, right? The house always wins. That's right. That's how it is. All right, guys. Ooh, excuse me. I gotta go cough, y'all. First of all, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for coming through today. Again, thank you, Danielle, for hitting that link. Shout out to Danielle. We will be following that story a little bit more. For those that came late, watch the replay. I am going to be chopping it up and making it shorter, just for those that were just wanting to watch the Danielle part. Thank you, Danielle, for stopping by. Shout out to you. Thank you guys for being patient and, hanging on there. What do you guys think about Alex Spiro and all of these filings? What do you think the judge is going to decide now with this new letter? Where is all of this going to end? I mean, it's interesting to see these two people kind of going at it at court. You guys, Happy New Year's and have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you guys later. Bye. Hit the like button. Thank you guys. Bye, bye, bye.